This FlyHawk detail upgrade kit provides full replacement masts for this kit. Often, photo edge detail upgrade kits will not replace the plastic masts with brass parts. That can be a bit tricky because, well, plastic bends very easily. So I really do appreciate it when aftermarket kits replace the plastic masts with brass because it makes rigging so much easier. There's just less bending that you have to try and control. Although this isn't the most complicated of masts, it does have a few fairly complex or at least delicate components that need to be installed on it. The first of which is this crow's nest, although it's not really particularly complicated or delicate. It's just an awkward component because it has a circular rail that needs to be folded around its circular base that it is already attached to. I always debate with myself whether I should just snap it off and fold it separately and then reinstall it. But for whatever reason, I always seem to try and fold it attached first, and I always seem to get it into a reasonable shape without having to break it off, so I guess I'll just leave it on. The only real advantage to leaving it attached is it makes it easier to align the stanchions with their correct connection points, which align with this cross that you can see on the base. After rolling the handrail on the cylinder for a while, I get it into reasonable shape, which I then further adjust using tweezers. Once I'm reasonably happy with the shape of the handrail, I apply medium viscosity superglue to the base of the handrail and then place it in contact with the platform. With the first corner tacked in place, I can now further shape the handrail and bond its full length using extra thin superglue that I apply to the edge using a wire. Next, there are some support struts that need to be attached to the underside of the platform. After cutting them off of their frets, I do a little bit of cleanup to the edges with a file to remove any excess metal, and then apply a small amount of medium viscosity superglue to the base and place it in contact with the underside of the platform. The underside of the platform has score lines which help me to locate the position for these struts. You can feel when they click into position. After letting the glue set on the support struts, I can now put it into position over the mast itself. To bond the platform to the top of the mast, I first position it on the mast and let it fall past the location where it's supposed to sit. I was hoping that it would actually sit on top of the cylinder. I didn't think it would fall all the way through, but anyways, it does. So to glue the platform in place, I apply a small amount of medium viscosity superglue to the top of the mast and then slide the platform up to the top of the mast. Since the platform doesn't sit on top of the mast as I had hoped, that means I now need to take some time to ensure that this platform is level on all axes. This can take a little bit of trial and error and a lot of rotating of the mast. After a bit of back and forth, I do get it into a reasonable position and I'm happy with how it is sitting. Unfortunately, on closer inspection of the underside of the platform, I can see that the support struts don't actually make contact with the mast itself. My first instinct is to try and fill that with superglue. Unfortunately, the gap is just a little bit too big, and all I end up doing is making a nice big mess. It is unfortunately a mess that I cannot accept, so the entire component comes apart and gets given an acetone bath for a few hours so that I can start the construction process again. Once again, the handrail is bonded to its base, initially tacked in place with medium viscosity superglue, and then the full length reinforced with extra thin superglue. This time, I now insert the platform onto the mast before installing support struts, and go through the same task of trying to level the platform on all axes. I really wish they had just made it such that this platform sat on top of the mast. It would have made this so much easier. All they would need to do is make that little piece of metal at the very top of the mast slightly narrower than the base, and then this entire process would have become unnecessary. Anyways, it is what it is, and after, once again, a lot of back and forth, I once again get the platform into a reasonable state, at which point I can now install support struts. This time, with the mast in position, I can push the support struts right up against the mast. This means they do sit somewhat outside the grooves that are etched into the bottom of the platform. This, though, doesn't really matter because the groove is concealed by the support struts sitting on top of it. It is just a little bit irritating that they didn't position them correctly. With the crow's nest platform in place, I can now move on to installing two much smaller platform type things. Both of these platforms are just single pieces of photo etch with support struts attached to them that get folded down. Once folded, it's a simple matter of applying a small amount of medium viscosity superglue to the location on the mast where the platform should be installed, and then placing the platform onto the side of the mast. Here, the only complication is ensuring that they stick out horizontally and that they're in the correct rotation around the mast. Using medium viscosity superglue means that I do have some time to adjust the platform and ensure that they are sitting in the correct position. The same process is then repeated for the second smaller platform, and once that's done, I can move on to the really delicate work for this mast, which is the construction of what looks like a radar antenna. The first of these delicate components is the main section of the antenna itself. This is very thin photo etch, and it needs to be folded in half on a particularly thin piece of photo etch. To have any hope of doing this successfully, I need to use the photo etch folding tool. Even then, this was not straightforward, and it took me a few attempts to get the fold onto the correct line. Nevertheless, I was able to do it reasonably well and ended up with an appropriately folded antenna. On the front of this rather delicate antenna, there are yet more delicate components that need to be installed. 3 further structures that stick out the front of it are cut off of their fret, after which a small amount of medium viscosity superglue is applied to the underside of these structures before they are carefully positioned on the photo etch bars on the antenna. The reason why I'm using wax paper here is because I'm not confident that I'll be able to get all the glue to make contact directly with the metal that it's supposed to be attached to. I'm concerned that some of the glue will fall through, and if there wasn't wax paper here, it would then bond to the cutting mat below. With at least wax paper, it'll be stocked on the wax paper, and superglue doesn't bond to wax paper, so I'll still be able to remove the component without having to destroy it. Using the wax paper, this process went really well. I do think some of the superglue did make it all the way through, but it was then very fortunate that the wax paper was there to stop it. Other than these 3 small components that go on the front of the antenna, there's yet one more that goes on the back of the antenna. This is a small photo etch tab that is used to connect the antenna to the top of the mast. This time on the antenna, there is a very small, slightly thicker bar onto which this tab needs to be connected. It is very difficult to see, and it is not a very substantial piece of photo etch, so this is going to be incredibly delicate. To install the tab, I use the same process as for those components that went on the front of the antenna. I apply a small drop of medium viscosity superglue to the tab and then place it in contact with the antenna. After leaving the glue to dry for a couple of minutes, the antenna can now be handled, and I'm able to position it carefully on the top of the mast, and once again use gravity and some careful rotating of the mast to ensure that the antenna is standing vertically and correctly rotated about the mast. After giving the glue yet a few more minutes to dry, the mast is ready to be painted. The first round of painting is to apply metal primer. As a fairly large metal component, it is important to use metal primer just to help ensure that the paint sticks to it properly. While I have the metal primer out, I'm also going to spray the catapults. In previous videos, I had constructed the catapults, but I hadn't painted them. These are also very large metal components, so they require metal primer. These catapults also have a few resin components. That doesn't matter to the metal primer. Metal primer works just fine on both resin and metal. After giving the metal primer around an hour to dry, it is ready for paint. All of these components are going to be painted in the same color, Mr. Color number 308, light gray. It's always when spraying the color coats on these components that you start to see the quality of the build. Here, if there are any defects, it'll become apparent very quickly. Fortunately, it looks like, for the most part, the construction was good, and that there aren't very many, if any, defects that I need to worry about. Of course, these components aren't 100% perfect, and if you're looking at them on a large screen in 4K resolution, you're going to see a lot more defects than you would see with your eye, but I think they've come out pretty well. That is it for this video. I am starting to become a little bit concerned that I'm collecting a lot of loose, delicate components. I don't like to do that because they have a much higher risk of being damaged before they're attached to the ship, but I can't really install them until I've done the weathering process. So I think I need to start working towards actually doing the weathering for this model. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they are uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, like and subscribe, and as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.